Let me know if you see my screen.
I'm seeing your screen, the slide. Yeah, it's on full screen right now.
Okay. So I thank everyone for joining the session. This is not an easy day to join and not an easy time considering in the month of Ramadan. Uh, but I appreciate you joining. However, this is what we are here for. This is our topic: trailblazing your career, a road to Salesforce consultancy. So, like the road we see at the left, our road, our path to Salesforce consultancy is not even, uh, is not easy. There are trial and turbulence, there are challenges, and there are peaks and mountains, oceans and valleys. We will get through all of this. We will navigate and reach there today. So, our the session is designed for the people who want to know about this platform and want to um, have a Salesforce career, or just started a career, or is an consultant, or wants to become one in future. What we are going to discuss today, we will talk about the Salesforce platform, about Salesforce projects, uh, the software development, the evolution, the preparation, and roles of different um, individuals in a project, stages, Salesforce consultancy, and why, and consultation skills. And finally, we will go through a real life project. Uh, I mean, we have created a metaphoric consultant, which is Einstein, Vic for Vikings, and he will implement accounting seed software for one of the companies called Louis Boutique. So although I call it real, it is not. It could be a little surreal or a little unreal sometimes. Okay, introduction to the ecosystem for the people who are new here. Um, I mean, new to the platform. What is Salesforce? Basically, I will not talk a lot about this because most of the people I believe here know what Salesforce is. So it is basically a cloud-based CRM platform. It is called the number one in all over the world. So you have everything in the server side, um, nothing on in the workstations. It has a multi-tenant architecture. That means you share the resources with the other tenants of this architecture, like the way we live in an apartment in a big building. And it provides you the tools for sales, marketing, and customer service. And it provides you a customizable solutions for unique organizational needs. So depending on the demand of your organization, you can customize this. I mean, you can decorate the Salesforce the way you want. And it also has, it stores your data in a centralized server. So you do not have to be worried about your data. And it provides you automation, like flows, like process builder. So you can, I mean, it makes it even more powerful. And it also give you some AI tools like Einstein's or activity captures or others, and or forecasting, through which you get insights on, and which help you, take decisions for your business. Now, how big is Salesforce? Salesforce is big, quite big. I mean, according to the IDC, there are 70,000, around 70,000 employees currently working for this. In 2003, it has a net worth of 134.78 billion, and in fiscal year 2023, it earned 24 or 21.4 billion US dollars. And how big it is going to be in future, In a Salesforce sponsored study, International Data Corporation (IDC) predicted that by 2026, Salesforce would create 9.3 million jobs worldwide, and IDC also predicted that since it would earn 1.6 trillion in new business. So I confess that organizations or industry sponsored uh, researchers are sometimes biased. However, in any standard, it is a pretty huge number. And 90% of the Fortune 5 companies, they are Salesforce customers. Did I say 95%? It's actually it should be 90%. Okay, it is the fastest growing enterprise ever. You see the line graph and see this is the line for Salesforce. And look at the other companies. You see the name, right? Microsoft and Oracle. They are also giant companies, but they are well below Salesforce. And not in some terms of financially, Salesforce also is an industry leader in other areas. It's a leader in philanthropy. Among top 100 companies that care, it is 6 years in a row, and it is world's most ethical company. Um, by it is fair, and it is also leader in culture, one of the Fortune 100 best companies to work for, and was best workplace, leader in innovation, one of the best workplace in the technology for 6 years, um, and it is world's most admired, all by Fortune. Now, see, where is Salesforce? Have a look at this global presence. The star ones spots marked where it is currently now, and the one in the square, it has an emerging market. So in North America, it has established market. In Europe, it has established market. In Asia, okay, it is an emerging market. Even in Africa, imagine, even in Africa, it is growing. And in India, it has an established market. In Australia, it has a market. And where is it missing? In Chinese and Russian, but quite understandably why. Where are we right now? In Bangladesh, and see, it is not even in the list. Um, so, but we are spending our time and our life, a good number of people working on in this platform, and we are not even in their account. This is crazy. Okay, and this is the guy who is behind the legend, Mark Russell Benioff. He is the founder and chairman and CEO of Salesforce. He's an ex Oracle CEO, and this is the famous Salesforce Tower located in San Francisco. It has 61 floors. Now, Salesforce ecosystem. Now, the people who work in this ecosystem, they form this, ecosystem. They consist of consulting and integration partners who help customers to have or implement Salesforce. The third party app companies who build apps in this platform, and the teachers and the trainers who spread the knowledge of Salesforce. And Salesforce ecosystem continues, started in 1999, and it turned into a vast, gigantic ecosystem, and created huge number of jobs, as we mentioned earlier. And it also created a philanthropic model. There is an interesting story. I cannot resist myself from sharing that. You see the woman called Mata Amitanandamai. I apologize if I mispronounce her name. It is not an easy name to pronounce correctly. She is famously called Amma, the hugging saint. She's from India. So what she does after her conference, she hugs everyone, every attendees in the conference. And she, according to her website Amorg, she has hugged around 40 million people so far. That's a huge number of people. So Mark Benioff one day met her, and he shared his, I mean, visit while he was visiting India. He shared his story, his business idea to her, and she said, it's a famous quote. She said, If in your quest to succeed and make money, don't forget to do something for others." So the famous 111 philanthropy model we have today is Benioff's practical application of her advice. So I believe Salesforce has a financial and the physical body, and probably that we feel it also has a spiritual presence, even in the business world. And if that spiritual, if that philanthropic and human form did not exist, probably Salesforce would not be this big, uh, uh, this vibrant today. And it created a wahana, which is a Hawaiian word, meaning family. It embraced a culture based on a family values. It actually has three organizations: Salesforce customers, the people who use this Salesforce, 95%, 90% of the Fortune 500 users are among them. Salesforce partners, consultation companies, and the independent software vendors, who the ISV partners who build softwares for this platform. Now, Salesforce introduced first software as a service platform, SaaS. Okay, it offers various apps within standard object based on license types. Salesforce has various license types. We will not and many of them have clouds under after their name. Discussing about them is out of the scope of today's discussion. It also, it is object relationship data model, which serves the application's foundation. However, to suffice the business needs, it also has the ability, provides you the ability to modify through the custom objects. So you can also uh, customize it the way you want. Now, as a consultant, or even if you don't want to be a consultant, something else, learning Salesforce is important, and it is a never endless learning, because technology changes. The lifespan of a technology is 3 to 5 years. So it is a non-stop and ever-going process. As Salesforce consultant, will also have to learn, and it has three. If you see the Venn diagram in the right, see it is three overlapping main parts. So it is learning. So you need to learn, and then through job you can also learn. When you work, you can also learn. I learned through working. And community. You have a plenty of people around you all over the world. You can also, learn from there as well. And learning Salesforce, the most important part, I believe, is find a mentor. I'm very lucky to have one. Find a mentor, join mentorship program. What mentors can do, they can share their stories, their journey. They can provide you good advice, and they can lead you. And they can also take a look at your resumes. They can also provide you certification advice, and they can look for jobs, or and how to negotiate salaries, and probably how to decorate your LinkedIn, and how to do your online branding. There are free learning materials. Trailhead is the biggest. It belongs to Salesforce, and I believe, if I'm not, it started in 1995. Apologies if I'm wrong. And it is fun to learn. It is not written. There is a huge resource. If you start studying childhood, you will not only learn Salesforce. You will also learn about many other things. Um, so and it is Trailhead is fun. There are units, modules, badges, super badges, and it is a part of the ecosystem now. It's free, and it's completely free. And you can also learn from free bootcamp programs. It's generally a few weeks to few months program of Salesforce Pathfinder, which is a 16-week program that teach technical skills to students, business skills to students. So it's free. And PepUp Tech is one. It was founded by Stephen Herrera, Selena Suarez, by and the other name I can't remember. So in 2016, and to help underrepresented groups to get trained in IT, and the other is 100 Races of Trailhead. Jessica Murphy founded in 2018, um, and it is a community supported program based on the concept of helping each other and make and keep the Salesforce learning goals. They basically use the New Year's resolutions for helping that. Now, apart from free learning, there are also paid learning materials. Trailhead also, if you have a lot of money, you can also learn through Salesforce. Take Salesforce academic classes. If I remember correctly, there are thousands of dollars, $4,500 classes, huge. But you can go for cheaper options. Udemy, mostly video learning platforms, uh, and their videos are fun. And you have the famous Focus on Force. It is probably one of the most famous in this business. Focus on Force has like give you study guides, and they have also have the exam portion. And for parents, it has super moms. These are all paid ones. Now, as I mentioned earlier, engaging in Salesforce community help you learn. So, uh, if you want to succeed in Salesforce, then resources are available. There are friendly and helpful people all around you who all want you to succeed. So, explore Salesforce community groups like Women Tech, MVP Hours, or Salesforce Saturdays, Ohana Slack. For military people, you can join Vet Force or Marvis. Okay. Now, one of the most enjoyable and joyous moments of Salesforce is getting a Salesforce certificates because it comes after uh, rigorous study and hard work. There are currently around 44 Salesforce and 40 or 44 accredited certificates. And administrator is the first one to get. However, there are entry level certificates called associates, and there are architect certificates, developer ones, marketer, consultant, designer. And so if you want to be an admin or architect or consultant, probably you can start with administrator. However, if you want to be a developer, you can start with platform app builder, then platform developer one. For consultants, there are numerous certificates. Not numerous, quite a good number of certificates. For example, Sales Cloud consultants, Service Cloud, and Experience Cloud consultants. Now, certifications will not only give you pleasure and happiness; it will also validate your skills. And it will, increase your opportunities to have good jobs, and and also it is a recognition to work in this platform. Now, after you learn, you have certificates. What will you do? You look for job, right? And where will you work? Do it. You can do start doing some volunteer work. You can do catch a fire, taproot, and volunteer match, point of light, engage, idealist. They are there here to provide you volunteer opportunities. And many job people currently working as admins, developers, consultants, solution engineers, MVPs. They used to be ex volunteers here, and there are recruiters. If you have a LinkedIn account, you'll often see that you get messages from uh, various recruiters. So they are also, your job opportunities, and LinkedIn job poster also there to have jobs. Going for the next one, Salesforce projects evolution preparation roles. So this, since our role is not to, we will not even not here to talk about project management. It's about, but consultant has some role to play in a project. We will only remain high level about that. Let's talk about the evolution first. It's not a history class, but a pinch of history probably will not be a bad idea. So, software development, it has evolved significantly over the years. It started in 1950s with tools and techniques which is unfamiliar today. which is a part of the history now. And this automation led to the modernization, and strategies for for more frequent and software changes has emerged. And it has also introduced two methodologies, project management methodologies: waterfall and then agile. Now, waterfall methodology, uh, so it's a sequential design process. It follows a linear sequence of stages. Each of the following have eight or roughly eight stages in completed before moving to the next one. And once a stage is completed, developers cannot go back to a previous step without restarting the entire project. There's no room for change or error. So a comprehensive plan must be set before the beginning. And the requirements is fixed. Waterfall relies on a detailed initial plan. Requirements are defined upfront, and any changes can be challenging to accommodate. And client feedback is minimum during the development. The focus is on following the predetermined plan, so it has limited client involvement. And then there is a risk of misalignment between the customers and the developers, uh, because the project complications can sometimes can this kind of optimization can increase the length of the project significantly. And time consuming changes, making modification in the waterfall approach can be very very time consuming, and it's a very rigid structure. So now you see, probably you get a negative vibe from here. And because there are some problems associated with waterfall methodologies. Here is a famous tree swing story. uh, what happens, let me explain this for you. So our client, it actually wants a tire swing. It wants a tire swing, but in the first box, when he explained to the team what I call it he, it could be she too. So he explains that he was pronouncing tear and not tire. Probably it was because of his accent. So each person, they misinterpreted the request. So the first person, the customer, when the customer explained, he actually exaggerated a bit because he wanted to have more. So this is what he described: a hanging, maybe a swing with three, what do you call it, letters, looks like a letter, I don't know, platforms. But the project leader, or the product owner, he oversimplified that. He just produced a simple version of that. But when the analyst and the designer designed it, they made it look impossible to design. And whether I mean, they probably didn't even check whether it is feasible or not. And what is missing, you see, the client asks, I mean, tear swing, client has the right to mispronounce, but the verification should have been there, that am I hearing correctly? Are you wearing, what do you mean by tear swing? Did you mean tire swing or tear swing? That verification, that feedback was missing. So that missing feedback led to that, to the number four, the developers, they started developing based on the instruction design on three, which is impossible. Now the problem is, we should not blame the developers. The developers are not kept in the client meetings, and that's why they miss the bigger pictures. They don't know what the business is. They only design on what is in the instructions, and this is what they design. You see, it doesn't hang from the branches. It lies there. And what will the tester find when they test something this? They will find nothing, and it is not documented in number 7. And when the customers installed in their platform, it is in number 8, you see they have nothing. But what the consultant business consultant does or do, they over exaggerate. They their products like so colorful, uh, which is in 6. And when the customers are billed, they build for a roller coaster. You see, they build high. And the marketing, I mean, they often, without even communicating, contacting the client, they make the marketing look, I mean, elements look snazzy, stylish, and uh, so this is what we get. All what we miss is a feedback. All what we miss is the feedback. What did I hear it correct? Do you really want that? So actually, after doing everything, we see in 12 the client wanted a tire swing, not what we have here. So the lesson is, the problem is lack of, sometimes, I mean, lack of feedback can cause a catastrophe in waterfall. Now, the solution is agile methodology. Agile approach, breaks down work into smaller iteration or sprints. Team deliver working software increments at the end of each iteration, allowing customers continuous improvement and adaptation. And it values the team collaboration, individual collaboration, teamwork over the process. It emphasizes the importance of people working together effectively more, or rather than rigidly following the processes. And working software over comprehensive documentation, it prioritizes delivering functional software over extensive documentation. While documentation is of course essential, cannot deny that, but it should not hinder the progress. And it also client collaboration over contract language. So agile, what it involves, I mean, clients throughout the development process, regular feedback, regular collaboration ensures that the software aligns with the client needs. So there are adaptability to changes. Agile embraces change. Team can adjust priorities, requirements, and features as needed during the development, responding to evolving business needs. And you can also have, backlog management. You can prioritize list of user stories or features. This backlog guides development efforts. And then you have popular roles in Scrum. As a, it is a part of agile methodology in Scrum, which is a popular agile framework. Specific roles like um, Scrum Master. It facilitates agile practices, removes obstacles and roadblocks, and ensures that adherence to Scrum. Uh, I mean, it keeps you stick to the Scrum principles. And there is the product owner. It focuses basically on products. It represents the client. It's actually prioritizes features and defines the product's vision. Okay, project role. Now, consultant, we want to be a consultant. He plays a big part. There are actually, I mean, consultants are expert. They advise, they guide project team stakeholders. Sorry, consultant can be functional. I mean, functional means having soft skills. uh, he can translate the business language into the technical language, and technical language into business language. And he can also be a technical consultant. Can be specialized in implementing technical solutions and work closely with the developers. So, and there is a project manager who does planning, execution, completion of project, ensuring that it meets the goal. And then the scrum master, who facilitates agile processes, coaches team on agile principles, and helps remove if there is any obstacles to make sure that everything is smooth, efficient in during the project delivery. And then we have business analysts. What they do, they analyze business needs, gather requirements, documents, and stories, user stories, or even use cases to guide the development process. Then we have business architect, designs technical architects or system integration, so that we can meet the project requirements, ensure scalability, reliability, even performance. And then we have change manager, who manages organizational changes to make sure that stakeholders are prepared for and receptive to changes and which is introduced by the project. Then we have the trainer who trains. So they provide training supports to user stakeholders to ensure successful adaptation of new process systems or technologies which the project introduces. Then we have, a data architect. So architect, they're experts in designing and implementing, uh, data model, database structure, and data integration. I miss technical architect. Okay, so he technical architect especially specializes in certification and expertise in designing, implementation, and I mean implementing complex technical solutions. And he is the technical leader. Uh, he is the advisor on a project. Now, developers, they are the builder. They are the, I believe, the most hardworking people in a project. So they build, they implement software solutions, applications, and any components according to the project's technical requirements of the specifications. And then there is a QA that tests and verifies the functionality performance to make sure that the quality is standard and according to the expectation of the users. And there is the role of the women, the female force. You know what, the first coder in this world, was a woman, and it's her image when she was at 20, Ada Lovelace. So they unfortunately do not have significant presence but it's growing now. Sales and staffing, we will not talk much about that. Salespeople, there are pre-sales people who bring the clients to us. uh, they It is out of our scope, but they are also a part of ohana. So there are different staffing model, for example centralized ones, so the resources are managed internally by dedicated team, or decentralized ones. So it is if I mean it is allocated by the, you know by the project manager. So centralized model enjoys benefits like, if it enjoy efficient resource allocation, and there is a consistent quality and expert presence there. So but it also has a problem of like limited local context and, potential delay due to the, central coordination, due to the lack of central coordination. And decentralized one have advantages. For example, it is faster resolution, resource allocation. So the resource can be allocated more quickly, and, in the team enjoys flexibility. Now, consultant's role. As a consultant, what role should we play, or we play in a project? Okay, it starts after the sales hands off. So when the sales hands off the project, then uh, your role, I mean the consultant's role, can come into play. And basically the project manager, he organizes communications and documentation, for example, like team rosters, agendas, to help to work better. They also, the project managers also provide tools for instant messaging and work tickets, and make plans to reduce problems. You see, we will not read everything. You see the uh, table here, the first column, activity, role, and name. And so there the table, the data from two different projects. In the first one, take the business analyst James Anderson. His activity is to take meeting notes. He also plays other activities like, here he create meeting agendas, and in this row he create backlogs, then write user stories, and here he also gives demos. However, in this second project in the right, what does James Anderson does? He making notes. Okay, same role in the, like the previous one, create backlog. Same role, write stories, user stories, give demo, and write test scripts. Okay, here's the new one. So James Anderson, in the second project, he writes test scripts. But in the first project, who writes the test scripts? The quality assurance engineers, Amanda Kim. So your role can vary project to project depending on the demand of the project, situations of the projects. You can play different roles in different places, like the way actors and actresses play different plays different roles in different dramas and movies. And you can also, to organize, you can also create a RACI chart to define the roles and responsibilities of the individuals in a project. Roles, RACI stands for R for responsible, the person who is responsible for a task, the person who is answerable for a task, accountable, and the person who has been discussed, consulted, for C, and if the person is informed. Then you can, write the activity names, and then write the role names and their role and responsibility. Say for example, I will just go for row one. The activity, if the taking activity is taking, meeting notes, then the business analyst, he is responsible for this and he's also accountable for this. Solution architect is consulted and he's informed, and the other three roles, they're consulted and informed. So you have activities and the roles and responsibilities for all of that. You can create a task, so to have a 360-degree view of the roles and responsibilities of the individuals in a project. Now, as a consultant, you will have to, or might have to travel sometimes. The amount of travel depends on the project type. Sometimes you might have to, have 80% of the travel. Sometimes probably 20% if it is for probably for the training purpose. For remote projects, because of the, thanks to COVID-19 era, we have growing number of, remote work now. So if you have to work from home, then make sure that you have an ergonomic workstation to prevent injuries and to take regular breaks. Here's an, um, I mean, a picture that shows how a proper, work from workstation home from home looks like. You sit, a viewing distance, viewing angles should be like this, and you see at the foot she has a footrest for, especially for shorter people. Then project hours and utilization. So it impacts your utilization score, and I mean, regardless of your local, where you are located, it monitors your allocated hours and ensure management goals are realistic. And understanding the role is important, so we should familiarize with, with your role associated with the activity. So we should have, ensure clear communication with the teammates about the roles, I mean your role and their role as well. Now, here's an, ethical we know invoicing, but what is in ethical invoicing? So say for example, you are driving your children to the school or collecting them from the picking them from the school, and while you are driving you are thinking about the projects, about the solutions. So in a sense you're working, but you are also engaged in a personal family work. Problem is, should you bill for that thinking, because you have also been working? uh, uh, so it's a complicated and debatable, it's an endless debate. So while thinking, are you working is a question. Probably the solution can be, are you hired or have you been hired to think? That will probably problem solve the, or give you the answer to some extent. Next, the kickoff meeting. Kickoff, okay, is the introduction of the project. This is where you create the first impression to the clients. First impression last long, we all know that actually the term came from kickoff, from the famous football, in football, when it is started by kicking the ball. So here you discuss project goals, the project methodologies, agile, or or a waterfall, or some people also follow semi agile, or even they call combine it wagile. On some people have their own version of, methodology, they introduce theirs. And okay, here are some tips what you should do. Please, because see, this is your first meeting. This can be virtual, this can be on site and online. So please, you should dress properly, and please be careful about your personal conversation. It's not a good idea to share about your the what is the, most pathetic experience of your life in the first meeting, or and But probably if it's like a toy company, and if that, if the first toy of your life belonged to that company, probably sharing that pinch of story can be become handy. uh, but you should listen and read. So read cues, take time to build relationship and trust. So listening is important, because relationship takes time. You are there to trust, because the clients releases or some trust on some securities, gives up some securities on upon you. So gaining that trust takes time, and it should be nurtured, cared properly. So, and team introduction. During team introduction, should be mentioned that you should not introduce yourself to the team, or let other introduce to your team. That will give a negative vibe to the client, because the client will think that, okay, they even don't know themselves, there is no team bondage. So show the client that, look, we work as a team, we have strong team bondage, we are the team, we know each other. So, and team coach understand forming, storming, norming, and performing. And also, if you need or work on an international project, then do some research, understand, learn their etiquette, learn their culture. So that, because one people, I mean one countries, or one, even one company's culture is negative in another company. So it's important to learn the etiquettes of or norms of specific, or do some research on that. Okay, then let's lead us to the next session, discovery session. Okay, discovery, you are there to discover. Okay, so you be curious, that's the first thing. The goal of the discovery is to gather information through interviews, discussions, documentation, and demos. And the series, and have there can be series of discovery meetings, depending on the, for example, if a client ask for wants for multiple projects, multiple products. For example, if they want accounting seed, they want field service, they want service cloud, then you may need to have three different discovery sessions. So it can span for days or weeks. And there are some learning objectives, like business terms, because every business has these specific terms. Salesforce has terms. Every business, even every specific company, has its own vocabularies. You try to learn those terms, processes, roles, data, and procedures. And there are standalone discovery projects also. Some consultancy firm, they sell separate projects. And about the deliverables, your roadmap, very detailed releases and solutions and design plan. Then the project cadence, like cadence, it span for like 2 weeks, or gathering for 3 to 2 weeks sprints, or even months of training, UAT and deployment. The roles in discovery, business analyst or solution architects, they actually lead the discovery sessions. And the project manager, he or she monitors the one. And should we record the meetings? If required, do this, but don't record everything, um, because you will miss the key moments. So record only the parts that's important. Analysis, the process of observing, documenting, even planning and analyzing process, business roles. Try to analyze those in a company. Write user stories, what a user wants and why he wants that. For example, a sales rep might want to record interactions, like emails, like text messages, phone calls. Okay, then the next phase: build, design, development, test, and deploy. So agile meta structure. So you have backlog refinement, organize your task and priorities. And then you can have, sprint planning, plan for the work for the next period, or next, we call it sprint. And then you can have daily stand-ups. I mean, you can have short meetings, quick instant meetings, like quick snacks for updates and collaboration. And then you can have sprint reviews, assess completed work in a sprint. Then you can also have retro perspectives, reflect on what went all and what could have been improved, what you missed. uh, and then you can also have the visuals for use visuals for clear understanding. As Napoleon said, that one picture equals 10,000 words. So you can use picture or diagrams to help clients understand the complex issues. And this is why, because this is a boring topic to some people, this is why I have used a lot of pictures to explain it better and to keep you awake. So picture people are attracted to pictures. Present those pictures to clients. uh, use and for user acceptance testing, use I mean users end users generally test systems and they get feedback. So conduct well organized user acceptance testing sessions for it, so that you can have effective results. Then mitigating scope creep. Scope creep is a term. It means that which is outside the scope, outside what you have been paid for. So sometimes client ask for things which is not documented, which is beyond the scope. So it creates some embarrassing moments that, okay, should I ask for billing because this is, but you be clear, just clarify, look, this is what we have not been asked for, this is also out of the scope, let us have a separate meeting for this. This will increase the project duration. Talk about this freely. And then there is the deployment phase, which is the termination of the projects. This is where you move the application uh, from the sandbox environment to the production environment. Now consultant, as a consultant you have to do a lot of demo, so demoing a lot. Here are some demo tips. Prepare yourself for the demo, create test accounts and scenarios for the context, and then rehearse, plan, write key points, practice, paraphrase for fluency, and then present. Start by stating what you will present, what you're going to show it, and then recap. And if you make mistakes, which you all make, all do, uh, don't worry. Don't over apologize. Focus on what you are working, what you're doing, and then acknowledge the bugs. If the system has any bugs, then acknowledge and communicate that you will work on this, and ask for feedback. Or if the feedback is negative, then accept it. Um, and sometimes unexpected stories will, if the time is limited, or it the item is not prioritized, deprioritized, then it can move for the next sprint. Here are the demos for the sorry, tips for the demos. Now Salesforce consultancy, why is it and what it is. What is Salesforce consultancy? It is basically a service helping people to use Salesforce CRM effectively. The purpose is to ensure effective implementation of Salesforce, effective customization, and ongoing customization. The consultants expertise. Consultants are experts. They know it all. They are often certified. Knowledge. They have the knowledge of Salesforce capabilities and incapabilities. They have customizations, and they have one of the best practices. The role of a consultant is to provide guides, support, and address unique needs and challenges to each business. And there are some, like, key components of consultancy is implementation, integration, optimization, training, and support. I will not go for each term, that will prolong the session. And crucial for businesses maximizing return on investment. I will not explain that, that's out of the scope. Customize Salesforce ensures efficient workflows and user adaptation, supports scalability, and also helps to the business to grow and enhance. Why Salesforce Consultancy? Why is it important? To ensure effective implementation, customization, and ongoing optimization. And consultants are experts. Okay, I think I'm repeating. The parse is actually a repeat. I will skip that. I have actually talked about that here. Okay, that will lead us to the next slide. Next one is consultation skills essentials. So Zidane, my favorite player, footballer. So look at his skills. As a consultant, you also need some skills. There are project archetypes. Archetypes means like every individual, every project is unique, different. No projects are perfect. Like nobody is perfect. But and since the projects are not perfect, not the way you want, they're interesting. They shape you into a seasoned, a skilled consultant. And you, as a consulting skills, there are technical skills. You can have technical skills so that you can work with different technical people. You may also have more functional or soft skills like communication, emotional, using emotional intelligence, or have the ability of doing critical thinking, or client management. Client management is a very, very important soft skills. The hydra, so okay, as you mentioned, the project archetypes, so there are different types of projects. One is called the hydra. Please don't worry, hydra is a term from Greek mythology. It refers to serpent with many heads. Okay, so it is a project with, you know, split power base, multi-headed. Okay, so there are multiple executive sponsor, not one. You have heads from business, you have heads from technical. And when what does happen when there are multiple heads? Conversation or communication swirl occurs, right? Sorry. Okay, and you get directions from different directions, different heads, and that causes inertia, scavenger hunts. So too many uncoordinated free agents and stakeholders want to eat from there. And then schedule, it also schedules because schedule delay, and the budgets often overrun. What should you do? You should form internal committee and time books research and analyze the request. uh, don't grant everything. And then you should also have the proofs of the concepts they offer. Then there is the echo chamber project. Echo chamber here, there are not many clients, or just probably one or some. So your request echoes here. And not many people in this. So you need to extract. People are extracted from different from their regular jobs, and people are not interested to work on that, because that's not their regular job. So it suffers from lack of ideas, solutions, and your lonely voice echoes there. That's why it is called the echo chamber projects. What the problem is, unresponsive and lack of engagement from people. And it also because people are not they are not accountable, answerable for anything. And or you often have the last minute changes, and change request, and which results in poor user adaptation. What you should do, use that racy chart we discussed in the previous slide, and define the responsibilities, and then escalate proactivity and quickly ask for more resources, and hold for monthly executive meetings so that you can distribute the responsibilities, roles, and get everybody involved. The next project types of project is a Swiss cheese project. You see this cheese, there are holes in it, right? So in Swiss cheese projects, there are holes where blind spots where key information is missing answers of the 5 W's we use in journalism: who, what, when, where, and why. So many stakeholders, or I mean, uh, there are either many stakeholders in a association or few. Question is that you answer, get the answers of the five W's, and you know, you miss the answer of the five W's, and there is a lack of engagement from people, and poor user adaptation. What should you do? You keep asking the five W questions until you get the answer. Give them homework, the stakeholders, for any unanswered W or five W questions. And if there is a lack of engagement, then use the tools we discussed in the echo chamber. What are the five W's? I will not read everything. These are the questions you can go, ask. Who are the stakeholders? Ask who is on the project team, who is the product owner, who is the who is managing the project, and then what is the scope of the project, what is the timeline, what is the budget, what is the vision, what are the goals, what problems does this project solve, um, what is the business. So these are five famous 5W questions. I request you to do some research. I will not read everything to save some time. Then there is the explorer projects. So explorer projects is a great fun because the clients are curious, they are deeply engaged, they are eager to learn, they gain understanding of workflow automation from where they are shifted because they're very interested, excited. uh, and here consultant guides, teaches, and open endless opportunities and possibilities for business. Looks like a lucrative project from teaching perspective, but for business perspective it creates scope creep, which we discussed earlier, and rabbit holes. Rabbit holes mean situations there are too many questions, and it may increase the meeting time, or sometimes length of the project. So you need to find a way out of getting out the rabbit holes, and there can be schedule slippage. So if it happens, remind the client of the current timeline and the monitor risk and issues that may delay the project. So what you should do, you should talk about the minimum viable project product. Don't I mean provide everything they want, just provide them the minimal one. Show them what they want with a simple number of data. You just show them, okay, is it working or not, and then teach them crawl, walk, and run approach. You start slowly, then increase, then accelerate. And if there is a lack of engagement, use the tool for echo chamber. This is one of the solutions for explorer projects as well. And this leads us to the next type of project. It is famously called Rube Goldberg projects. It is from the famous cartoonist. His name is Rube Goldberg. He painted this cartoon self-operating napkin. If you see, so what he does, you see the over customization, over engineering in it, in eating, and then there is, I cannot describe it totally. Spin this. There is a rope here. It pulls it and it throws something probably, and this bird flies. It releases the weight and it probably drops on the bucket. So, and the result, what happens? There is a rocket too. It cuts the rope, and the napkins then start probably wiping his mouth. He could have simply uses his left hand and wipes them out. Okay, so this Rube Goldberg projects, it is over customized. It is over, and it creates scope creep, and and sometimes explorer projects, which we discussed earlier, may, because there are a plethora of requests from every directions. They're very curious, they're interested, so it might sometimes uh, turn into a Rube Goldberg project. So you should watch for that as well. What uh, caution is scope creep, rabbit holes, over engineering, and technical depth means unmodifiable codes. What you should do, you should health check. Like our health Salesforce org has health check options, and you can also teach the client crawl, walk, and run approach, and ask client questions. Look, would adding this requirement, will it make sense? Um, and is the feature better of somewhere else? How can it be fit into the system design plan? So do we need this design? Ask questions, clients, these questions. And next project is called High Horse. You see the High Horse. Uh, so High Horse. High Horse is a term called meaning dictatorship. So it is a dictated by a person, dominated by a person, a project. There can be many people. There can be 15 clients in a site, but which is dictated by a single person. The person can be on either side, can be the in the client side, and can be on your side. It's a horrible project to experience, and what it leads, it can converse and lead to conversation swirl, and it can also create revisionist history. I mean, reinterpretation of past events, often with biased or distorted perspective to fit in the particular narrative, or ideology, or even agenda of that person, and is also creates misaligned expectations, and it make you work and work again. What you should do, you should manage risk and issues tightly, and you should log the decisions and conversations, um, so that you can use them as a proof later. And you witness, I mean, helplessly you witness, you learn, because sometimes the worst projects teaches you the most. The next one is the stick in the mud. You see, when we get stuck in the mud, we cannot move. So this is like this car. It is very difficult for the car to move. So this project doesn't move. It's stuck. What happens? Stakeholders resist. They don't want changes. They are comfortable with the current way they are working. So they don't agree. So what happens? What the problem of this is, no buy-in from this client holders, I mean the key decision makers or individuals who have involved in the project, or they are not supportive or committed to the ideas or the plan which is being proposed, and it indicates that there is a lack of agreement and enthusiasm from them, from the people who are involved in the project, or in the decision making project. And it's also result in poor user adaptation, lack of mandate or incentive, or sometimes schedule slippage. What you should do, you should change management. Okay, so sometimes change management, I mean, helps to get rid of changing sometimes work, and refresh things, and provide incentives with games, prizes, fun. Now, another skill for, or probably your as a consultant, the your most important weapon is your communication. There is a famous book written by Marshall McLuhan. The title says, the medium is the message. It has a very deep, profound meaning. The medium is the message means the medium, the way you choose to communicate with people, whether you will phone, you will text, you will email, you will use slide deck, you will video call. The medium, it is actually the message. So, because sometimes the medium call can also have various meaning. For example, if you write a letter to a person rather than texting, it gives the person a more personal feeling, a more close attachment. So choose the right medium, whether you should use email, phone, slide text, or text. Listening. Listening is an art that is to master. Listening doesn't, it looks like that listening doesn't take time, but the problem is not speaking at the first thought takes time and takes practice. So we should focus sense, filter the messages to communicate back, maintain eye contact. Speaking and writing, okay, choose appropriate words, even silent words. One word may be abusive or to others, or one word can may have different meaning to others. So choose what words you are uh, using. And for example, whether should you use I feel or I think. If you use I feel, that means you're talking about your feeling, something you feel. But if you say that you think, now you actually mean what you are thinking. Your feeling might not be your thinking. Your feelings, it is. related to your emotions. Your thinking is related to your thought process. So sometimes you might think something and feel bad about something. So I mean, think positive about something and then feel bad about something. So we need to, it is very important to differentiate between feeling and thinking. And there is a new way of acquisition of slack. uh, it gives us, streamlined consciousness, is allow communicate uh, to the teams with emotions. I mean, we can use emojis in our workplace. Then your next probably the another.
Uh, Mr. Nazim, so it seems like we lost your audio. Are you there?
So this is a very I mean, beautiful diagram. It is not working here, but if you touch one, and then you will get a beautiful result there. So we know, as we mentioned, that we need to differentiate between the feelings and the thoughts. So we should, or a consultant should know the feelings and summarize others people's point of views, to better relate their perspective and to better communicate with them people. And self awareness, knowing one's feeling is also important. And showing empathy. Empathy means putting yourself into the shoes of other people, and then empathize from their perspective. Um, it is a very, very important tool. Sympathy means, okay, say for example, if something bad happens to someone, so I can offer sympathy. I can share condolence. So, I'm sorry for your loss. But empathy is going deep down there, is taking yourself to the person's level and feeling what you'd feel if you had the same loss, and communicate that person from that perspective. That is what empathy. So empathy is more effective than sympathy. Show empathy towards your client. Then you cultivate resilience, optimism, and gratitudes, real gratitude. You lead a balanced lifestyle to, to avail this emotional intelligence. There are, as we mentioned in the first slide, that there are emotional turbulence on a project. There store, I will not go through everything. I will just provide high level overview. There are stormy seas, there are tensions, there are groupings, and so there are groups. It results in high morale. So we should learn to appreciate the team morals. There can be dumpster fire situations. If things goes wrong, we stress out, but mistakes can happen. It's a part of us. So we all make mistakes. Probably over apologizing is not a good idea. If you don't know something, just face it. Say, I don't know. If it is something out of the scope, face it. Tell them, look, this is out of the scope. Or I don't know that. I will learn it and I will get back to you. So act like you are a consultant, you are an advisor, you are not an order taker. And you should not, I mean, a consultant, that emotional intelligence, a consultant should learn to react to your own thoughts. Okay. And burnt PMs are, very busy. You get burnt out because it's lengthy. There are peaks and valleys. There are uh, tests for you. So burnout occurs. You get exhausted. So balanced life, spend time with family might help. Sometimes you might be kicked out from a project, and it is a sad experience, of course, but it is not end of the world. Take it as a learning experience. Look for new horizons, and sometimes it is also a strategy of a consulting company. Now, critical thinking sometimes is a part for people. I mean, the consultants. So we should vaporize or systematic thinking to have problem solving using logics, data, and facts. And practice will avail these skills. and we can gather, analyze, evaluate, and as we synthesize data or information and bypass them, the irrelevant and inaccurate and unnecessary data. So this there is and then knowing the difference between opinion facts. And I think the most effective one is the experts, taking experts help, learn people who know and learn from the people who know, and reach them out. Gartner is one of the websites that publishes IT industry reports for Magic Quadrant. This is one of the authentic one. You can research from their reports as well. They provide, even IT business data as well. Then there is time management. Okay, outline your topics. We will cover this session. Avoid unnecessary rabbit holes. Rabbit hole is the term we discussed earlier. So if client asks for something which is might create rabbit holes, then create a parking lot. Means tell them, look, oh, I have this information written. So we will discuss this later. Okay, this vendor gun shows how we can synthesize and distill information. For example, in this, the customer success and marketing and sales team, they analyze business data, but it overlaps with the marketing data. So uh, we should be cautious whether if there is any overlapping happens or not, to have a 360-degree view of the data of an organization. Then we can also, create sometimes, for example, people from marketing say, okay, why cannot I create a new account records, or why cannot I edit an account contact? And it creates sometimes chaos. So you can create a simple, spreadsheet table like this to define who has the what role. Create stands for create, read, and edit, delete and permissions for different objects. So this will give you a 360-degree view of what who can do what. Okay, this leads us to our last project. As we mentioned, our uh, famous Einstein Vic force, Einstein Vic Viking force. His ancestor is famous Ragnar Lodbrok. He became a Salesforce consultant. He implement a Salesforce project for the company fashion brand Louis Boutique. It's a French fashion brand. So here, the role of a Salesforce consultant in a real life project. Uh, I don't apologize if it doesn't sound real. So what happens? It's the story of a journey from the QuickBooks to accounting seat. What is QuickBook? To have a high level view, a QuickBook is an accounting software. It is developed by the company Intuit. It's actually built by small and medium sized for the business, and it has two versions, desktop and online. Accounting Suite is a cloud-based built by third party, but it is specially built for Salesforce platform. So it integrates seamlessly with Salesforce platform. It allows users to manage finances and watch out on expenses, or sometimes to generate invoices, reports, and also gives you the customizing options. Now, what are the pores uh, Louis boutiques needs to cross across uh, the journey? The one is campaign. So lead generation, campaign, then lead generation, lead conversion, opportunity management, project sign on, or opportunity. Then kickoff meeting. We'll go through that. Discovery, meeting, design, development, testing, deployment, and then maintenance. So what happens? So, Louis Boutique's journey to the port. So in the first port, in the marketing campaign, consultant. Here he doesn't have consultant doesn't have much to play, but he still can help identify the project needs. Still can analyze business requirements and can determine help the marketing team determining the feasibility of implementing Salesforce solutions. And He can also help them in lead generation and consultation role, provide input in lead generation. And next one, in lead, leads can be converted in Salesforce, we know that. So um, leads can be converted into opportunities. So Vicforce can also help that. He can help configure Salesforce to automate lead conversion process and ensure that the data integrity, uh, data clarity, and set up workflows for lead flow follow up and lead qualification stages. He can also manage opportunities. In the opportunity management, the consultant can work with sales team to customize Salesforce so that they can track and manage opportunities. He can also help them configure different opportunity stages, implement forecasting tools, and provide training to on opportunity management best practices. And in the next stage, in the project sign on stage, he can collaborate with stakeholders and finalize project scope, and then uh, gather requirements and timelines. They can also assist in the negotiation in setting client expectations on project deliverables. In the kickoff meetings, consultant can lead the kickoff meeting, facilitate the discussions to align project's objectives. He can also clarify the roles and responsibilities of the team managers and plan accordingly. He can also ensure stakeholders that we are all on the same page and understand the project goals. Now, in the discovery session, he can conduct the workshops, interviews, and analyze sessions and gather documents and data or the business requirements. He can also translate the requirements into technical specifications to help the developers understand this, create solution designs, and provide recommendations for sales configuration and customization. And in a design and build phase, he can collaborate with the architects and the developers if he has technical knowledge, or even if he doesn't, to design a self solution, create data models, user interface design, and system architecture design. In the development stage, consultant can also directly or take or just monitor the development and ensure that the development follows the best practices. In the testing stage, our Workforce, he can lead or join in testing. He can conduct functional and integration and user acceptance testing. And the deployment, he can plan and execute deployment and coordinate with stakeholders, rehearse deployment, and implement changes management if to reduce user disruptions or any interruptions from the user's perspectives. Then the final one, maintenance. So Workforce here is determined to offer non-stop, ongoing support to the clients and troubleshoot any issues. It can also enhance and optimize system performance. And when finally our boat reaches from QuickBooks to Accounting Seats Harbor for Louis Boutique, the Einstein's hard work and dedication is paid off. He gets salary. And when he gets salary, what does he do? He goes for a vacation. He goes chilling. Here is Vic Force goes for chilling. He's having fun. He's on a beach. He's spending a quality time. Here's the references. I will not read it. We are already over time. I'd like to say some gratitude to the consultant makers. Here are some consultant makers in our community. We need to know them. First is are our community group leaders, Mohammad Zakir Hussain and Mehdi Hassan. Thank you for investing your trust upon me, believing that I can do that. Second, the people who have taught me secretly and sometimes openly consultancy for the last 4 years. Corey Debor, the solution architect and service cloud consultant. What a person he is, amazing. And then Alan Roy, solution engineer, field service. So I always find him whenever I need, whatever the time is. So they have been coaching me and I have been learning a lot from them. So next one, Mr. Rubel Amin. Uh, he is an accounting seat consultant, and we famously call him the goat. The goat. He is literally the greatest of all time. And I don't know. I mean, the way he handles clients, he turns a situation in his favor. Is I cannot even describe them. It is just outside. I mean, uh, it is unparalleled, and it is something else. I need to have another session to describe how he manages situations. Then Faiz Mannan, our CEO, the president, the founder of Innovi Solutions. So this is what I have been talking throughout. What I have described for the last probably 1 hour and so. This is what, if consultancy were a human being, this is what this handsome person would look like. He is top to bottom uh, a consultant. He knows it all. Yeah, I mean, so I learned most from this person. And as I said, I believe like there we have a Batman, we have a Spider-Man, probably has a consultancy man. So I should thank him too. This guy left to me is me, because I can share the video. I'm sharing from a desktop. And then most importantly, my mentor. You all should have a mentor. I have a mentor. Thankfully, he's Mr. Ashad Hussain. He's the application architect. He's the director of development at Innova Solutions. In a word, he's the most accomplished human being I have ever seen. I always get him. I'm me. Everybody gets him in their side whenever he takes all the pains for everyone. And I mean, you will always get him whatever you need, technical support, spiritual support. He gives you all. So my most gratitude goes to Mr. Ashad Hussain. My if I'm here in Salesforce because of today, and should also say, he is also the first person in Bangladesh to use Salesforce. uh, then let's succeed together. Let's enjoy. And thank you all. Thank you for having me here. That journey we had was not easy, had ups and downs, but we crossed it. Thank you very much. That's all from me.
Okay, thank you very much, Mohammad Nazimul Islam. So yeah, we'll be moving to quiz session right now. So before moving into that, I would like to thank Nazimul Islam for enlightening session on Salesforce consultancy. His deep expertise and passion for the subject were evident throughout his talk, providing us with invaluable insights and best practices. We are truly grateful for his time, dedication, and the knowledge he shared, which is undoubtedly benefit our community in the future. So thank you so much, Mohammad Nazimul Islam. We all
You're
appreciate it.
most welcome.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll be sharing my screen for the quiz session. Just hold up a sec. Okay, so you have to go on this URL, slido.com, sligo.com, and enter this code over there. After that, you'll have to put your name on the box. Then you can join the quiz. Okay, so yeah, I just tried to fast forward the session, and we do have a QA session. So if you can join, and in the meantime, if you have any questions or anything, you can ask to Mr. Nazimul Islam. So in the chat, I can see there might be a question from Mahir Mahmood. Yeah, you are most welcome, Mahir, for thanking us. So my question is, yeah, attention, Nazimul. So what should be the starting point for becoming a consultant? Should we go for Trailblazer modules or should we depend solely on video lectures available on YouTube, Udemy, etc.? So can you please answer to that?
Okay. Thank you, questions, Mr. Mahir. Thanks for your question. Um, Learning consultancy, I mean, there are some, as I have shown in the in my presentation, there are available resources. There are resources that are, I mean, like trailheads, paid, unpaid ones, video resources. I believe what I learned mostly is by observing a consultant from a close, I mean, from closely. So probably there's all these resources together you can learn. This is what I believe. You don't learn from a single source. You learn it from multiple sources. I hope this answers the questions.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer, Nazimul. So, yeah. And do you have any more questions? So you can just unmute yourself and ask the question, or you can also write in the chat. And in the meantime, I would like to request everyone to join the quiz session. So, yeah, let's wait a bit. Okay, just a heads up regarding the quiz. So, we are based on Bangladesh, right? So, I invite everyone to join, but unfortunately, we won't be able to deliver the gifts if you are located outside of Bangladesh, overseas. But I definitely invite you to join and have the fun over there. But yeah, you have to be in Bangladesh to receive the gifts. And we have 19 participants, but I can see here 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8 participants has have joined till now. So yeah, let's wait a bit more on that. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask. You can write on the chat or unmute yourself and ask the question.
Thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate this. First of all, thank you, Nazim Bhai. It was the most engaging slides I have ever seen in my career so far. I appreciate this. So the question is, as you have suggested that it is the best part that we should follow some consultants. But is there any consultants in Bangladesh who has been working actively and whom we can follow? Any suggestions on that?
In Bangladesh, I haven't seen one yet, but we work with overseas clients, and our clients are overseas. And probably if we are engaged in a project, and then I mean, my answer was for the people who work for an I mean organization. So if we are engaged in a project and there is a consultant, or there is an individual who is playing the role of a consultant, I think probably we can uh, observe uh, them and then learn from them, which is I am doing currently. So I am learning from the consultants, the current, I mean the currently who in the projects I work in, and I try to learn from them what they do, how do they say handle situations, or what roles they play in the different stages of the projects. So this is what I try to do. I think this can help. In Bangladesh, no, but in Bangladesh, like the people I have shown in the slides, they are in Bangladesh. I thank the people. I think they have vast and widespread knowledge about consultancy, and I believe sometimes I'm not sure, but the way Rubel, I mean, Bhai works, he is, I think, he works as a accounting seat consultant for the most projects, because he is the all in all of accounting seat. So I believe he also not only the, I mean, he's the solution engineer, but also he is also the consultant there as well. Probably even I discussed before the presentation, and I learned many things from him about what I'm going to talk here today. I'm sorry, I'm exposing the truth, but this is what happens. I believe he is also a disguised consultant.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mahir, for your question. Also, thank you, Nazimul Islam, for your descriptive answer. Really appreciate that. Okay, so I think that ends up our QA session. We'll close that session and we'll move forward with the quiz session. So I will just wait 30 seconds more. If you are facing any issues or anything, you can write in the chat. If not, I will start the quiz session right away. Okay, so seems like we got everyone. Although participants are 18, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 people in here. So yeah, I'm starting the quiz. So best of luck, everyone. Just let me describe the rules. So you'll have to select the correct answer, and at the bottom there will be a button to submit the answer. You'll have to select it and submit the answer. If you don't submit it, it won't be counted. And so as quicker you respond the quiz, I mean the quicker you respond the correct answer, the higher result, higher mark you will get. But you'll obviously need to select the correct answer. Okay. And yeah, the fastest answer correctly will be getting more points. And top two participant will be getting gifts. The first one will get a Trailblazer community official t-shirt, which is official by Salesforce, and the second person will be getting a mug, which is official, uh, our community official mug. Yeah, so these are the two gifts. Yeah, so let's dive in. Starting the quiz. Best of luck to everyone. Let's start. Here's the first question. Maria's father has three children, Paul 1 and Paul 2. Can you guess the name of the third child? Yeah, so looks like everyone got it right, Maria. Let's look at the answer. Yeah, okay, that's good. Let's move on to our next question. Yeah, here's the leaderboard. Oh, so Nuruddin at the top, he answered with 8 seconds in hand. And then Yasin and Mahir Mahmoud is there on the third. Okay, so let's move on. What is Salesforce? Cloud based CRM, cloud based SAP, force of sales. So I think it's force of sales. What do you say, people? So we are forcing the sales with Salesforce, something like that. Oh, I'm wrong. Sorry. So yeah, it's cloud-based CRM because 100% of the people answered that. That brings us to the next question. Yeah, let's take a look at the leaderboard. Nuruddin at the top, Yasin at the second. Okay, let's move on. Who is Salesforce CEO? Mark Zuckerberg? Yeah, I heard that name. Mark Benny off, Mark Benny on. Yeah, I'm a bit confused between the off or on. And the last option is Mark Marx. Okay, so some people actually answered the Mark Zuckerberg, and yeah, most of the people got it right. 89%. This is the correct answer. Mark Benioff. 89% people answered it. Okay, that brings us to the next question. Oh, Yasin. So Yasin is at the top with 18 seconds in hand. Answer all of them correctly. And Nuruddin at the second. And Sravanti Boga, he or she, sorry for that, at the third position. And we can also see Mahir is competing at four and Javier competing at the fifth. So yeah, I'm moving on to the next question. What's a Salesforce developer's favorite coding language? Java, Apex, or HTML? I think it's HTML, right? We can code with HTML. HTML is a coding language. Do you agree? I guess not. Okay. So yeah, Apex is the correct answer. 100% of people got it right. Congrats to all of them. Yasin is still holding the leaderboard at the top. Nuruddin is competing with him, 4 seconds behind. And we have also uh, the others are changed based on the location of the participants. Okay, so let's move on to our next question. Something that none of us like. Is it Salesforce? Yeah, we all like Salesforce. Flow, I don't know. Apex working fine, not sure. Governor limit. Let's see what we actually don't like. Okay, so let's see what's the answer. Okay, some of us actually don't like Apex working fine. I am not sure why is that. We all like if there is no bug in the Apex, right? But I can make sure I can give a guarantee most of us, most of our people don't like the governor leave it sometimes because it gets lots of issues. Okay, so let's take a look at the leaderboard. Yeah, it's still Yasin at the top and Sravanti Boga at the second position. And yeah, Mai Mahmood, he climbed back from the fourth to third. Javi also climbed back from the fifth to fourth. So yeah, a little bit of competitions is going on over there. Let's move on to our next question. You are third place right now in a race. What place are you in when you pass the person in the second place? First, second, third, none. Think before answering. Okay, one said first and other one said second. So let's see. Yeah, the answer is second because there is already a person at the first and you are crossing the second one, not the first one. That means you are on the second place. So we have some doubts because we have got 25% at the first, 50% at the second, third, 13, also none, 13%. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Yeah, Yasin is still holding the top leadership, and Sravanti at the second position, Mahir at the third. And we can see Shumanali is here from out of nowhere to the fourth position, and Jabir pushed back to fifth position. So let's move on to our I think it's seventh question. Yeah. So Salesforce Tower is located at California, San Francisco, Connecticut, Newark. I think our esteemed guest speaker Nazimul Islam already said about that. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, everyone was attentive in the meeting. I mean, in the session, everyone got it right. San Francisco. Let's move on to our next question. And yeah, Yasin is still holding that position. Savanti is holding. Mahir is holding. So there is like some competition going on between Savanti and Mahir, and there are also Shonali Jabir. Let's move on to our next question, which is the number 8 question. How many months have 28 days? This is a tricky question. Think before answering. 2, 1, all of them depends if there's a leap year or not. Yeah, so actually, yeah, it's a tricky question. It should be all of them because all of the months, and as you can see in the question, it is saying how many months, right? So actually, all of the months do have at least 28 days. That's the tricky part. So let's take a look at the leaderboard. Oh, Sravanti is at the top. So Yasin lost his position, and Mahir at the second, and Yasin at the third position. Okay, so we are moving to the our ninth question. What does a Salesforce admin primarily work with? Code, clicks, cats, refreshes. I think it's cats in the leisure time. What do you think? Yeah, it should be the clicks. 63% of the people got it right because yeah, admin don't usually work with the coding. It's more a point and click, which also Salesforce uh, says signifies the point and click should be used. Automation tool should be more and more used in the Salesforce. Okay, so let's take a look at the leaderboard. We have Sravanti Voga at the top, Mahir Mahmood at the second, Shumanali third, Jabir fourth, Yasin at the fifth. So now this is the decider question. I'm going to show you. This is the last question for today. So let's see how many of you get it right quickly. What's a common tool for data analysis in Salesforce? Microscope, telescope, dashboard, stopwatch. I think the answer is obvious. Yeah, everyone got it right. This should be dashboard. And this brings us to the end of this session. Yeah, we have Savanti Bog at the top, Mahir Mahmood at the second, Yasin third, Shunali fourth, Javier at the fifth. Okay, and our hardest question was how many months have 28 days? Okay, so yeah, I assume the four from the bottom are from Bangladesh. So Savanti Boga, are you kindly located at Bangladesh? Or assume you are from India. You guys are hearing me, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
you are
Yeah.
audible, but I think she's busy with that quiz. That's why she's not answering. Maybe.
Yeah. 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 She is from India. She just messaged. Thank you so
Oh,
much, Sravanti.
we appreciate
And
that. Okay.
yeah. Thank you so much for joining, Sravanti. And you're the first, but unfortunately, we won't be able to give you the gift. But yeah, huge thanks and congratulations to you. And so, yeah, in the meantime, Mahir Mahmood, thank you and congrats. So you'll be getting the Trailblazer community official T-shirt, and Yasin, you'll be getting a mug, which is the official mug of our developer community, Dhaka, Bangladesh. Okay, so we have the names, and once again, thanks to everyone for joining the quiz event, joining the session, and yeah, that was a very interactive and very really engaging session between us. And so I'll be closing the event in a few seconds. So if anyone has anything to say, you can say, come out of mute and say. Otherwise, we'll be closing the session for today, and we'll meet at the next one. Okay, I guess not. So yeah, so this brings us at the end of the session, and thank you everyone for joining. I know this is the Ramadan month, so you also this is weekend, so yeah, it's actually tough. And I would like to give thanks to Mr. Nazimul Islam for his awesome session, awesome descriptive session, and he actually worked really hard for this. And I would like to thank him from the bottom of my heart. And thank everyone for joining. Without you guys, it wouldn't be possible to make this event happen. And everyone, happy Ramadan. Stay blessed, stay safe. Goodbye for now, and we'll meet at the next event. Thank you. Bye bye.